Over the past 6 years, Timothy Chalamet has transformed from an unknown actor into the leading young star of global cinema. He successfully portrays characters in both independent films and blockbuster spectacles. Fans are captivated by his refined facial features and curls, while outstanding filmmakers consistently praise Chalamet's professional mastery.
Timothy is one of the best actors of his generation, if not the best.
Because he's amazing. He's such a brilliant actor.
And he just, a natural film actor.
But what exactly impresses directors about him? What are the criteria for his acting skills? And why do some scenes with him become unforgettable? In this video, we will explore the iconic moments in his filmography and attempt to understand whether Timothy Chalamet is indeed a talented actor.
I'm naked, Mrs. Clemens.
I can see that.
Please turn away. I feel shy about my new muscles.
Timothy Chalamet was born in New York in 1995. Growing up in a creative family in the heart of Manhattan's skyscraper-filled artist community, he and his older sister, Pauline, were surrounded by neighbors who spent hours singing and dancing in preparation for their roles. It's not surprising that as he grew older, Chalamet decided to enroll in the prestigious LaGuardia High School of Music and Art. The release of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight in 2008 had a significant influence on his career choice.
This is amazing. Who is Heath Ledger? This is like, I want to do this.
One of his standout student works was the musical Sweet Charity, where Chalamet played a claustrophobic clerk stuck in an elevator. His performance was praised by his mentor, who claimed to have never seen a more brilliant comedic performance in his entire life.
But if you thought we were trapped in here, what would you say?
But we're not trapped.
If you thought we were, what would you say?
Well then, I'd say we really were trapped.
In 2016, still relatively unknown, Chalamet portrayed a gifted but reckless student in Prodigal Son, earning critical acclaim. According to director John Patrick Shanley, Chalamet left an impression of someone who could either hit you or write a poem.
Why do I have to listen to you when you have zero to say? Because I'm young? All my life I've been young, so I never get a turn.
However, in the early 2010s, Chalamet received only minor roles in film and television. In the spy series Homeland, he played the spoiled offspring of the vice president.
She needs our help.
No, I do, all right? I need our help. I was driving, not you. This comes down on me. And swear to God, I'd rather die than have my father find out. If you say anything about this, I'm dead. I mean it.
In Interstellar, he portrayed an ordinary, scruffy teenager. You might not recall, but Chalamet briefly appears in the legendary scene with a tearful Matthew McConaughey.
Oh. I met another girl, Dad. I really think this is the one. Her name's Lois. It's her right there.
The actor understood that he was part of a future classic, but was disappointed that his role turned out to be so small.
And I saw it and I loved it, but then I went home to my dad and I like wept for an hour.
Why?
Because I just figured my part was like bigger or something.
Among Timothy Chalamet's early works, the standout is the indie dramedy Miss Stevens, where he played the role of a withdrawn high school student Billy, passionate about theater and his teacher. In the climactic explosive scene, the actor channels all the teenage anger and pain of his character into a 3-minute monologue from Death of a Salesman, performed on stage.
Why am I trying to become what I don't want to be? What am I doing in an office making a contemptuous, begging fool of myself when all that I want is out there, waiting for me the second I say I know who I am?
According to Timothy, the actor's main instrument is his open heart, the ability to be extremely sincere and vulnerable. He decided to showcase these qualities in the sensual, sun-drenched, and joyful film by Luca Guadagnino, Call Me By Your Name. His character, the fragile and tender youth Elio, living in 1980s Italy, experiences the full intensity, awkwardness, and power of first love and first heartbreak. Unlike his debut works, the actor had the opportunity to convey the character's feelings, not through intense emotional outbursts and raised voices, but through much subtler means, using attentive, studying glances and body language. His confusion and yearning for closeness become almost palpable. Due to his theatrical background, the actor feels more comfortable in long shots, that create the effect of continuous action. This way, he doesn't feel constrained by boundaries and can dynamically portray the inner life of the character. This is most evident in the 4-minute confession scene, where Elio first decides to hint at his feelings.
Because I wanted you to know? Because I wanted you to know.
And then regrets his openness.
Shouldn't have said anything.
Just pretend you never did.
Or does that mean we're on speaking terms, but not really?
It means we can't talk about those kinds of things. Okay?
Another example is the long final shot, where the silent Elio recalls the summer romance, experiencing the overwhelming pain, joy, and sadness. Chalamet's ability to handle this complex task was aided by his subtle trickery, unnoticed by the audience.
We had the song in advance. I literally have the song playing in my ear as we're doing it because I had a little earpiece, so you know, there was an ability to kind of chart out. It felt like an acting exercise or something, just to kind of channel whatever was happening in the song at that moment.
For his breakthrough role in Call Me By Your Name, 22-year-old Timothy Chalamet received an Oscar nomination, competing in the same category with iconic figures like Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman, and Daniel Day-Lewis. After Guadagnino's masterpiece, the rising star gained massive popularity, comparable to the Leonardo DiCaprio craze of the 90s. Partly, this popularity is explained by how naturally and convincingly Chalamet portrays feelings on screen, familiar to any viewer, especially teenagers. For instance, in the cozy Christmas-themed Little Women by Greta Gerwig, he played the lonely romantic Laurie, whose unrequited love confession breaks hearts.
I gave up billiards, I gave up everything you didn't like, I'm happy I did, it's fine, and I waited, and I never complained, because I figured you'd love me, Joe.
At the same time, the actor brought not only strong emotions, but also amusing details to the film. For example, he suggested that in this uninspired episode, his character wouldn't sit, but rather stand on a chair. This touch helped enliven the scene and emphasize Laurie's free-spirited nature. Also, notice that unlike other men, Chalamet's character does not wear a jacket. He refused to wear it, considering it too formal for a youth who doesn't fit into societal norms. The actor has always been attentive to the wardrobes of his characters, and in films with him, clothing often carries special significance. In Call Me By Your Name, Elio wears Oliver's shirt, and in Little Women, Laurie exchanges items with Joe. In both cases, this symbolizes the closeness between the characters, and in films with Timothy, you can find many similarities. Due to his age and acting psychophysics, he mostly plays young intellectuals in coming-of-age novels. Still, he manages to make his characters distinct from each other. Through expressive facial expressions and flexibility, the actor creates different personalities. Look at these three young people. You only need 5 seconds to distinguish the brooding heartbreaker, the romantic neurotic, and the awkward outsider. Often, you can observe physical transformation in one film. Compare, for example, how in Hot Summer Nights, the timid and insecure Danny moves, and how he transforms by the end.
Hey, whoa, shit, swallower, take a step back.
In The Dark the King, based on Shakespeare's plays, the task was much more challenging, to show how a dissolute and perennially drunk prince involuntarily becomes the leader of the state, strong, confident, and ruthless.
Fight not for yourselves! Fight for that space! Fill that space! Make it tissue! Make it mass! Make it impenetrable! Make it yours! Make it England!
In Beautiful Boy, the actor had to show the difference between the happy student Nick, raised in a loving family, and the drug-addicted person destroying his life, growing further away from his relatives.
I don't want your fucking help, don't you understand that? No, you don't. Jesus Christ, then what the fuck is wrong with you then, huh? What the hell is wrong with you people? No, you fucking suffocate me! You fucking suffocate me!
Chalamet is selective in choosing projects, but he doesn't chase himself to roles that rely solely on physical sacrifices, pushing himself to exhaustion or gaining weight for flashy roles.
I think it's really cool when an actor can shapeshift, and certainly you don't want to play versions of yourself. But what's the coolest is when an audience can see like real humanity on screen and really like learn about themselves or something, rather than, oh wow, look at that guy go.
However, this doesn't mean that Timothy restricts himself only to working with the psychology of the character. For the role, he learned Italian, took piano lessons, thoroughly prepared for combat scenes, and honed a British accent. And once, for Beautiful Boy, he had to go on a diet and lose 8 kilograms.
How could you lose weight?
I know.
What did you do?
I know, that's what I said to him. I was like, well, I am skinny, sir. And he was like, but you must be skinnier.
By the beginning of the 2020s, Chalamet had acquired the status of one of the best actors of his generation and seamlessly integrated into major ensemble films featuring Hollywood's top stars. In 2021, Chalamet had the opportunity to lead a blockbuster, the monumental sci-fi epic Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve. The film revolves around young Paul Atreides, who finds himself on the perilous desert planet Arrakis, the only source of spice, the most valuable substance in the universe. One of the film's most powerful scenes is the trial by pain that Paul undergoes. Chalamet was required to convey the unbearable physical anguish of the protagonist in close-up. It was after shooting this scene that Denis Villeneuve was finally convinced he had not made a mistake in choosing the actor.
At the beginning, Paul is a boy struggling with his identity, but will slowly become later in the story a messianic figure. So you need to have someone that has a rock star character.
This, perhaps, is a distinctive trait of Chalamet from his early years, an angelic, romantic exterior, combined with the ability to portray the tragic and dark inner worlds of characters. In real life, Timothy blends the glamour of a Hollywood movie star with the endearing awkwardness of a shy intellectual. He appears to relish the fame and consistently surprises with his appearances on red carpets, showcasing a variety of unique styles. The actor not only transforms perceptions of men's fashion, but also symbolizes a new form of masculinity, characterized by softness and sensitivity rather than strength and power. Despite his fame, he remains true to himself, blushing, slouching, encountering awkward situations, and constantly impressing colleagues with unexpectedly profound answers to questions about the burden of fame.
You know, like the fame and whatnot?
No, I mean, no, and I think life is best lived surreally anyway, so it's all.
I like that.
Yeah.
Or his belief in destiny.
You could be the master of your fate, you could be the captain of your soul, but you have to realize that life is coming from you and not at you, and that takes time.
His career successfully unfolds in 2 directions. He avoids the conventional path of superhero films or franchises, opting for unconventional blockbusters by talented directors or understated, yet bold stories, such as a road movie about love-struck cannibals. In the musical fantasy Wonka, Chalamet revisits his theatrical past and once again proves his talent for comedic roles. At 27, the actor possesses all the attributes of a major star and the potential to become the Leonardo DiCaprio or Robert Pattinson of his generation. He doesn't settle for being merely a sex symbol, but continues to surprise us with deep, unexpected dramatic performances. It seems that Timothy Chalamet's greatest successes are still ahead. We only need to observe how he will further unfold his potential for transformation and talent in selecting intriguing projects. We are confident that we will see the actor in entirely new roles, united by his nuanced performances and open, vulnerable heart.